even though they spread it out over much more than that, but 13 times 5 is 65. And they were going to model them after the Max Fleischer Superman cartoons. And they were among my favorite cartoons ever. So I knew they were going for quality. Plus I knew they were signing people like Paul Dini, good writers, Bruce Timm. So I said to my agent, ooh, I want to be on that show. And they relayed that information, and they came back and said, okay, Mark can be in Heart of Ice. They just gave me a part.
That's awesome.
I know, and I said, well, wait a second, what is it? They said, well, it's a mystery. It's the first Mr. Freeze episode. And I read the script, and I thought, oh, not Mr. Freeze. Oh, Mr. Freeze. They said, no, Michael Ansara's Mr. Freeze. I said, oh, okay, I'm fine with it. I'm actually the guy that pushes Freeze into the solution, so I'm sort of the villain's villain. But when I went in there, I totally just geeked out on them. I mean, I wanted them to know I knew Batman backwards and forwards. I'm peppering them with questions. Are you going to do Hugo Strange? Are you going to do Clayface? Are you going to do, I wanted to are you going to do any episodes where there aren't villains? You know, because I thought the downfall of the Adam West was they got into a formula too quickly. They didn't really make him a detective enough, or they didn't make him do mysteries and so forth. And as much as I, as a kid, loved the TV version, I knew that this had to stand on its own. Well, to make a long story short, I went in, I did the episode, and they were like, hey, relax, you got the part. Because I'm all over them about, you know, I'm really excited. They had backgrounds there, they had character sketches of all the characters. And what happened was, about 6 weeks later, they decided to, they were casting the Joker. And so I was given the part of Ferris Boyle, but for the Joker, they said, would you like to come in and audition? And I was so sure that there's no way that they would cast somebody that was known for an iconic, good character like Luke. There's no way they're gonna stretch, because they don't have that much imagination. I don't think, you know. There's no way I'm going to get this. And because I was sure there was no way I could get it, I was kind of relaxed.
Sure.
And I was replacing another actor. A wonderful actor who, when I heard his tracks, I went, oh my God, he's great, Joker.
That's pretty common in voiceover.
It
does happen a lot.
Because, yes, I mean, in this case, it was a guy who had done so much for the Fox network. He was Captain Hook on Peter Pan and the Pirates. So the Fox executive said, oh, they recognize the voice.
Yeah.
Let's get another person in there. And that's why I don't bring up his name, because he's a brilliant actor. It has nothing to do with his talent. It's just, you know, TV executive changing their mind. But I went in and I had to loop an episode. You know, that's where you add the dialogue to already pre-existing animation, which is inhibiting. You have to really, it's a technical.
And you're kind of stuck to those beats and everything too.
Beep, beep, beep. Yeah. And then you go in with your line. Now, I did read some just wild copy, what wasn't synced to stuff. But I do remember, I always tell people I went to, you know, both ends of the emotional scale. Because when I was pulling out of the parking lot, I thought, that's the best Joker they're ever going to hear. They don't hire me, they're out of their minds. Then a week later, they call and said, they want you for Joker. I went, oh no, I can't do that. She said, why not? I said, I wanted to play somebody that no one had preconceived notions about. I said Clayface. I said Dr. Hugo Strange. I never said Joker. It's too high profile. There's no way I can do that and satisfy everybody, because everybody has an idea of how the Joker should sound.
Yeah, and now that idea is you.
Well,
you brought a little something that you thought you could read as the Joker.
Normally people say, do the Joker, and I do the laugh, or I say, thank you, or whatever, just toss it out. But do you remember an episode of The Man Who Killed Batman, where Joker loses his reason to be because a small town, no-name thug has apparently killed Batman. Now, I think I know it, but this is a cheat sheet in case I forget. But he delivers a eulogy, and the guy who he believes has bumped off Batman is in his presence. And Harley Quinn is there, and a couple of the henchmen are there. But he gives a eulogy written by Paul Dini that goes,
Well, do you want like some mood lighting or anything?
Sure.
You want to take the stage?
Dear friends, today is the day the clown cried. But he cried not for the passing of one man, but for the death of a dream. The dream that one day he would taste victory over his hated enemy, because it was the Batman that made me the happy soul I am today. How I agonized over how to thank him for that. Perhaps with a cyanide pie in the face. Or perhaps an exploding whoopee cushion playfully placed in the Batmobile. But those dreams were dashed by the weaselly Gunsel standing there in our midst. This cowardly, insignificant gonif who probably got lucky when Batman slipped in the slime trail this loser left behind him, this disgusting mound of hyena filth who's not fit to lick the dirt from my spats. But I digress. The time for sorrow is past. It's time to look to a future filled with smiles. And I'll be smiling again when we take that man there and stick him in that box there and slip him into that vat of acid there.